after a brief intermission. We had some technical issues, but we've worked through those, and we're back with round 3 of Standard. We are here at the Santa Fe Mall, watching 2 very interesting decks. We've got Adrian Throop piloting Naya tokens.
And Chase Baker on the right, playing Sultai Control. So we were informed earlier today about Mr. Throop's deck, and it is a spicy brew. Looks like he has a Wingmate Rock in his hand, but he has Hangerback Walkers in the main, Bromazes, Rabble Masters, all kinds of stuff after some Mana Acceleration, and 4 Dictated Heliods in the main. Getcha.
Looks like a Sylvan Caryatid on 2. Chase, of course, playing a pretty interesting Sultai control list.
All right.
Here's Ashiok.
Ooh, that's a good one. Hit a Caryatid.
I believe he also flipped over a Dictate, so he will...
Jigs up.
He may want to read that one if he's not already familiar.
Oh, yeah. Dictate seems actually really good in any matchup that's not this one. Chase is going to be keeping all of Adrian's creatures in the graveyard, presumably, so they won't have time to get buffed. But if he does land an Elspeth, it will end the game really quickly. Ooh, and that is Chandra's parents?
Yes, that's correct.
Pia and Kira, I believe.
Indeed. The mini Siege Gang commander. Chase going to scry that card at the bottom. It's a good amount of pressure here for this Ashiok. He does need to find something to answer it. See multiple copies of Languish here in hand for Chase. He should be able to keep these tokens under wraps for the most part. Here comes an attack. Looks like it's all going at Ashiok for 4. Hangerback Walker for 2.
Ooh, oh girl. Yeah, he is set up pretty nicely. This means that if Chase has the Languish that he does have in his hand and he casts it next turn, he's going to have at least something to start over with.
It gives a control player some pause in wiping the board because you're not actually wiping the board, you're just sort of clearing up. He's got some work to do first.
Yep, there's the Languish.
Just going straight for the Languish. Very interesting choice here. He's going to make 2 Thopters when the Hangerback Walker dies, of course, the secondary ability. And a plus on Ashiok. Hangerback Walker not looking so great under Ashiok, to tell the truth.
Hey, you can -0 it.
That is true.
Ooh, and Adrian just drew a Rabble Master. That's going to be really good right after this Languish.
Can't agree. The best draw here for him, he may choose to play the Wingmate Rock. Yeah, it looks like that's his option here. Gonna need to take 1 from his Battlefield Forge to do so for the second white source. Trigger the raid, make a token. Many flyers in the air for Adrian Throop.
Ooh, and
Second
a second
copy.
Languish.
Yep.
Well, again, this Rabble Master is looking pretty decent.
Another Dictate of Heliod down.
Dictate down. And an Elspeth. Oh, man.
That is quite good here. Looks like gonna fetch. See if he chooses to get a forest or a mountain off of this wooded foothills. It will be a mountain. I believe Chase has a copy of Hero's Downfall in hand, but Elspeth going to be able to make those tokens first.
Chase?
So reapplying pressure to the board immediately after both of these Languishes.
Chase also has a copy of Garrick Apex Predator in his hand, and he's he's missed a couple land drops, so he's a little while from casting it. But when he does, it's going to be pretty good.
And Adrian's doing an excellent job of making him tap out on his own turn and not giving him the option to leave up counterspell mana.
All right, here's the downfall on Elspeth.
Trading 1 for 1 feels pretty good for Adrian, I think. Copy of Outpost Siege down. That would no doubt be a nice one to have stuck here. 3 soldier tokens left to apply pressure to Ashiok. The effective amount of life gain that Chase has gotten off of this Ashiok, not to be underestimated. He's
Gained
really,
close to 10 now.
Yeah, really doing a lot of work. Another Wingmate Rock in hand for Adrian. Got to make a decision as to whether apply Rabble Master or wait, trigger raid. Looks like he is going to opt for the Rabble Master. He knows that the way is clear because 1 blue-green land is not going to stop the attacks. It's going to get in for 4.
We're just hoping for not the third Languish from Chase. It looks like he does have 3.
Another fetch here for Adrian. Going to drop him to 16.
Let's see what Chase has here for the follow-up. It looks like he had... Oh, he drew his 5th land. That's good. Looks like he has a copy of Jace in his hand. Gonna go and fetch a land real quick. I don't believe he has 3 blue mana for Jace and Counterspell backup.
No, both of those dual lands in the middle, green-black.
This Ashiok has to be doing some amount of work on Adrian's library. It's ticked up several times now. He has a whole bunch of creatures under there.
Oh, he's morphing the Den Protector. Okay. Probably looking to get back a Languish. Reset the board once again.
Wingmate Rock, that's a good one. He also just wants a blocker for all these tokens in this Rabble Master.
Absolutely.
Just all of them. Get in there. This is an attack for 9. So, if... Oh, there goes the Ashiok. He's just not even going to bother blocking at all. Which is interesting. I feel like he could have eaten one of those tokens for free. I guess since he's about to play the Languish, it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, looks like he's just leaving it because it's free not to block. You get 3 damage in before you reset the board once again. Scries keeps it on top with a Temple of Deceit. We'll see if he does choose to do that. Yeah, here we go. Adrian down to 12 after the attack. Den Protector, one of those cards. Going to be difficult for Adrian to block at all. Most of his creatures not really going to be able to measure up in terms of power. All right, so the follow-up play for him is Pia and Kira making some Thopters.
Ew, and we have the mana to start throwing them Thopters upstairs.
It's a grindy attrition game. Chase has been kind of stalled on lands, but he's had all the answers. See if... Ooh. Oh, a copy of Dig Through Time. That's very, very good for Chase. Tempted to just go for that now. Make sure you hit your land drop and continue to do so for the next couple turns. Lock something up with another copy of Ashiok or representing this Jace here as well.
He also has another copy of Den Protector.
I'm not sure I like playing the Jace now.
Oh yeah, he can just shoot it down with.
Yeah, it's potentially just going to get got. Yeah,
there it is.
End of turn, right there. He's got the 3 mana to activate. And here's an attack. Should be for 3. First time Adrian's creatures have actually done damage to Chase. They've spent a lot of time attacking Ashiok Nightmare Weaver. Not a lot of time going to the life total.
And there's a dissolve on the Wingmate Rock. So, Den Protector and Counterspells is a combo, if you will. Seems really good.
Sultai deck, once it gets going, if you can assemble the mana and draw the right mix of cards, very difficult to stop. He's also getting very close to this Garrick.
Oh, I think
Looks
he's
like
just going to slam it.
Yep, that's what's coming down right now. Really like just making a beast here. A Death Touch 3/3. Looks like Chase will be supplying his own token here.
None of those look like beasts.
I agree. That is adorable. But lest we forget, this beast has Death Touch. Despite its unimposing nature. I think Adrian's got a copy of Windswept Heath in the hand.
Ooh, I actually really like this
Drawn
attack
another
from Adrian.
Wingmate Rock. Very interesting.
So he's setting him up so he blocks his Elvish Mystic so he can throw his other Thopter to finish off the beast.
He's going to have to, once again, activate the Battlefield Forge for white, take one, casting the Wingmate Rock.
So I think now is just about the best time. Yeah, Chase could. He looks like he's going to do it. Could dig. Because he really needs to find that third Languish or something else to just kind of mop up this board.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to leave a Languish available and a Jace. Delve away the rest. Pay 2 blue. And do the digging. 7 cards. 2 of them to the hand. The rest at the bottom of your library. Delve spells really showing their full impact in Standard. This one of the most powerful ever printed.
Oh, this dig does not look good, though. Looks like there's 5 lands, a Hero's Downfall, and another dig.
I think he has enough gas left in his hand that digging for another dig is acceptable. Not even too scared to just take a land here. Life total is still very comfortable. And he's got the Den Protector in his hand now. So that play is still available to him as the backup.
He took the Sultai Charm.
Ah, there we go. Okay, so that's just going to go ahead and take out the Wingmate Rock itself. Token left behind.
Yeah, he just wants his Garrick to survive this attack.
He has the option to minus, gain a little bit of life, make his day a little bit easier. I think perhaps just making another beast may be the most serviceable option, and he does decide to do that.
There's another not quite so beastly beast.
Adrian Throop in top deck mode.
Yep. Just going to Garrick with the Flyers. Send him down to 2. And he's probably going to... Oh, I kind of expected him to throw that Flyer or throw that Thopter at it. Finish it off.
Certainly letting him enter his main phase seems like a slight misplay there. He's a very small percentage to win this game, I think. The game's gone too long. Chase has too many cards left in his hand. Garrick's threatening to take over. And he's just running out of resources.
So an attack with these beasts sends Adrian down to 4. And there's the third Languish. Yep, he's just going to throw it at the Garrick.
Slightly awkward sequencing, but I suppose it is correct to just continue to wait and hope that your beast stays afterwards when you get to activate post-Languish.
I mean, I would have liked to see Chase +1 his Garrick before the Languish, even though you don't keep the token, you still make it so the Thopter can't kill it. Or, I guess, Pia and Kalar can't kill it by throwing a Thopter at it. So let's see what Chase gets back with his Den Protector. Oh, I'm going to Thoughtseize him first.
Thoughtseize. Just going to cast this Dictate in response, I do believe.
I'll show you.
Adrian still without second white source.
Yep, and this one's over.
Yeah, we're going to go to game 2. Chase with a very good draw there. Multiple Languishes. Being able to recur them with Den Protector, and then once again, Garrick, very powerful in this matchup, came down, did what it needed to do.
All right, so you have Adrian's deck list. How do you think he's going to sideboard for this matchup?
Well, let's go over his options. Looks like he has 3 copies of Arishan Cleric, 2 Soul of Theros, very interesting card we don't see played very often. Brimaz, King of Oreskos, 1. 2 Hallowed Moonlight, those probably not for this matchup. Mastery of the Unseen, 2. 2 Glare of Heresy, 1 Ajani, Mentor of Heroes. I imagine that is definitely going to come in.
Oh, yeah.
And 2 Back to Nature. Ajani, Mentor of Heroes is built for this type of matchup. It needs to eat a Hero's Downfall or a Counterspell, or it's going to sort of spiral the game and give Adrian a whole lot of pressure in the form of more planeswalkers and more creatures, and typically the creatures that are going to be revealed are 2-for-1s themselves, creating lots of tokens, working very well with the rest of his deck.
I also like the Bromaz out of his sideboard. I feel like he just needs to get more aggressive, slide underneath, or go too wide for the counter spells and the removal spells to matter, and just kind of get in there with a bunch of little guys. But that's where Chase's sideboard comes into play. So, in Chase's sideboard, he has a bunch of cards that are decent in this matchup. So he has a Perilous Vault that I can see him bringing in. He has 2 Drown in Sorrows, which seem very, very good here. Drown in Sorrows kills Pian Kilar and Goblin Rabblemaster and the Mana Elves and all the not Bromaz creatures that Adrian has, and Wingmate Rock, I suppose. Chase also has an Ugin, which would be good, but I don't know if he has the kind of time to set up for that. He has 2 Tazigurs, which I also like bringing in Tazigurs in these kind of matchups. I mean, your graveyard's going to be full anyway because you have all your fetch lands and all your Thoughtseizes and all your early removal, and then you can just slam a Tassigur down, and he is a very good blocker. He also has 2 Feed the Clans. I don't think those are coming in here. They seem more for the mono red matchup.
Yeah, I don't know that Chase's life total is under enough pressure for him to want to bring in Feed the Clan. That's usually safe for mono red, but I suppose if he felt desperate enough and thought that Adrian's game plan was going to be aggressive rather than grindy, then that's a reasonable sideboard option for him.
But Chase actually has a pretty interesting sideboard. It's not going to come up in this matchup, but he has 2 copies of Sphinx's Tutelage in his sideboard for the control matchup, which seem very, very good.
It looks like Chase is going to bring in 2 copies of Drown, Thoughtseize, Infinite, and the Vault.
Oh, it looks like he's bringing in his copies of Infinite Obliteration. I don't know how I feel about those in this matchup. Adrian doesn't have, the Deathmist Raptors or the Den Protector package that really shines against. I don't really know what he can name. I mean, he saw a bunch of Wingmate Rocks game 1, so it's conceivable that he'd name that, but I don't know if I like it for that. Maybe he's trying to set up a play similar to what we saw last round, where he Thoughtseizes his opponent and then uses Infinite Obliteration as sort of a make-your-own Cabal therapy.
We saw that be pretty effective last round. Even though he ended up losing that match, it was a good sequence. We'll see if that ends up being the case here. I think Chase looking to just maybe neuter Adrian's Dictate of Heliod's. Those can be particularly scary. Even though he does have access to Sultai Charm, I imagine that stays in. Going to be able to destroy enchantments.
Oh, yeah.
But other than that, there's not very many ways for him to interact with a Resolve Dictate. So perhaps he's just interested in making sure that that just never comes down. Don't have to worry about it. That also means that his removal spells, mass removal spells like Drown and Languish, not as effective in the face of a Dictate.
No, it looks like players are starting right now. We also just got word from our table spotter that Chase's tokens for the Beast are actually pictures of his own dogs. That is adorable.
Looks like a fetch from Adrian, and then a turn 2 Hangerback.
Hangerback is decent here. I like it.
I agree.
Most of the removal that Adrian saw last game cost 3 and 4, as far as the Hero's Downfalls into the Languishes, or the Sultai Charms. And that'll give him a little bit of time to make his Hangerback a bigger threat. All right, we have a Thoughtseize from Chase.
Adrian was ready for that one and handed over the goods. Let's see what he's working with here.
Whew.
No more lands in his hand. That is interesting. Wingmate Rock, Elspeth, Xenagos, the Reveler, Rabble Master, and a second copy. Huh. I think I like taking either the Rabble Master or the Xenagos. I don't think you want to touch the 5 and 6, and the Hangerback. Maybe.
So here's the thing: if he has a Drown in Sorrow, I think you can let him have the Rabble Master. Xenagos can be a problem though.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And then there's Rabble Master going to attack.
Just like we drew it up.
Right off the top. Yeah, I'm not sure that the Hangerback applies enough pressure for you to warrant taking it there. Looks like we'll see Ashiok, Nightmare Weaver. Once again, Elvish Mystic, Xenagos, and a copy of Dictate.
And another land for Adrian.
Looks like a Temple of Abandon, though, so not going to get to 4 mana this turn, but very, very soon. And if he rips another white source, we could see those 5 and 6s become a real possibility as well. He's going to put it on the bottom, though.
This Rabble Master is about to do a lot of work.
I agree. This should be a pretty free Ashiok kill here.
Yep, so it looks like he sent Rabble Master and one of the tokens at Ashiok, and then one of the guys upstairs.
That is absolutely correct.
So he's sending Chase to 15. And he looks like he's holding back on the Hangerback so he can pump it.
I like that play.
Yeah, me too. He's setting up a game where he's never really going to get got by Drown in Sorrow or Languish. Because if he just gets a rebuild with 2 Thopters, he's still able to trigger the raid on his Wingmate Rock if he draws a land.
He's sort of saving up for a payoff later in the game. I don't think you want to spend a whole lot of mana and make a big deal out of growing your Hangerback, because if your opponent goes single target removal spell into mass removal spell, it's not terrible, but this is fine for him because now he still has pressure.
So
Chase obviously doesn't have time to do single target into mass because of that Rabble Master. Yes.
So Adrian just drew a copy of Outpost Siege, which is an interesting one. So it looks like he's going to play that instead of the Xenagos.
That was a very good draw for Adrian. Effectively drawing 2 cards a turn.
Yeah, I assume he did, in fact, choose cons.
Here's a Nissa.
Nissa.
Very interesting. There's the forest. We're going to be 2 lands away once Chase plays his land for the turn, away from flipping the Nissa, that is.
CV, yep. Scryland, keep a Hero's Downfall.
Looks like that's going to stay on top.
Keep it on top. Yeah, he knows Adrian has the Wingmate Rock. Yo, baby.
An excellent one to flip off of the Outpost Siege. You get to keep the Elspeth that you drew in your hand, and you get to play a land and get that much closer to casting those 5 and 6 drops in your hand.
Yeah,
He
this
does have
Outpost Siege
Xenagos
was
still.
big game.
Yes. So 2 copies of Elspeth, 1 Wingmate Rock, and Xenagos.
I like attacking with the Thopters and just putting the Wingmate Rock in play.
I think he's going to make a Satyr. He doesn't have the second white just yet.
Oh, right. Yep. Just
So we'll
coming
see.
in
We'll
with
see
all
an
the
attack
clones.
for 4 here. I don't think Chase is going to block. Although if he doesn't, he's getting dangerously low.
Yeah, he's already at 8, and with a deck that has Dictate in it, he can lose all 8 of those life points really quickly.
Very, very much so. The hero's downfall drawn for the turn. 6th land played. We're 1 away from seeing Nissa flip. Here comes the hero's downfall. Needs to get Xenagos off the table. No more hasted 2/2 satyrs. I'm just going to pass it back. An Elvish Mystic, not... Oh, there's a white source.
Oh, man.
That is an excellent one for Adrian. He's going to be able to deploy whichever of the threats he wants, because that'll put him up to 2 white sources, which is what he needs to cast most of the cards left in his hand.
All right, looks like Chase is playing around. Adrian drawing another Dictate by blocking there.
If Adrian had played the land pre-combat, I probably would make that block. But since it wasn't in play yet, I don't think I can bring myself to make that block, because you know that it's most likely going to flip next turn. I think I'm okay with taking the extra 2. The difference between 4 and 6 at this point, not a whole lot.
Yep, and there's the Elspeth from Adrian.
Yeah, and I mean, the other option is if you just have nothing in your hand and hope Adrian also has nothing, you make the block and then give yourself a 3-turn clock instead of a 2-turn clock. Although Adrian's not going to have nothing for very long because of the Outpost Siege.
All right, so Chase has a few lands in his hand and a Sultai Charm. I assume he's going to try to loot with this Sultai Charm, try to draw into another Hero's Downfall or a Drown in Sorrow or something.
Drown would be excellent here. He does need to eventually find something to kill this Elspeth.
And this Outpost Siege. This Outpost Siege is just giving him the business.
Yeah, Adrian's
Just a
very
bunch
far
of lands.
ahead. Too many lands. We're going to see a 3rd game here. Adrian Throop evening it up. 1 game apiece.
Yeah, so we saw... Oh, we didn't see any of the sideboard cards from either player, I don't believe.
I think Chase brought in an extra copy of Thoughtseize. Does he have any in the main deck?
Yeah, we saw some in game 1.
So just that extra copy of Thoughtseize, potentially.
Yeah.
Maybe not even.
Looks like Chase is bringing in the Feed the Clans.
If you feel that you need them, it's worth the extra card. Then sure, bring them in. I think he's got better options. I don't know
Yeah,
what you're
I
going to
agree.
cut for it. I would rather have a removal spell. I'd rather have a counter spell or a planeswalker to put pressure on Adrian. I don't think any of those cards, and I certainly can't bring myself to board out a land.
Oh, absolutely not.
Gotta hit those land drops.
Yeah, especially for Chase's deck that has 7 and 8 drops in it.
In a 3-color deck as well, you need as many different colored intensive sources. He's got double blue. He's got double black. He's got multiple green cards as well. It's got to be able to use all of them efficiently. Has decided to keep Ugin in. We see that flipping through.
Yeah, I don't mind that. It gives you a solid... I think it's better than Garrick, Apex Predator, as a finisher, because it can also just -0 over and over and keep all those tokens off the board. Doesn't hit the Thopters, though, which
That
is
is
unfortunate.
True. That would have been one of the best draws for him in game 2.
Yeah, absolutely.
Obviously not off the Sultai Charm, but you know, if you find that, you can answer the soldiers, you can answer the siege and the Elspeth, and then at least prompt one of the Thopters to come in and finish it off.
Yeah, so we just saw Adrian Throop rip an Outpost Siege after ripping several lands after keeping a 2-lander, and we just see the power of Outpost Siege against these control decks. This is a deck that even has Sultai Charm, which can destroy Outpost Siege right then and there. But the thing was, Chase couldn't just use it to kill that because the cards that it drew were already putting him under so much pressure.
A lot of times, cards like that, a lot of people argue are not good enough, but if the control deck's answer is a spell that does not affect the board in another way, and they're under extreme pressure, they don't have the time to get that card off the board, and then they fall so far behind that they're just not really, it's not feasible for them to catch up.
Sure.
A card like Dig Through Time is the only thing that can get you back in a game like that. You have to spend something very small to recoup card advantage and catch back up.
So what do you think about this Naya tokens list, Nathan?
I think it's great. I like that there is another use in the format of Hangerback Walker besides just an artifact strategy. I think it's a very good card that can go in almost any aggressive deck or not aggressive deck. I think it's just
Very
tons
versatile.
and tons of value.
Very versatile. It gets better the longer the game goes on. It's a great drop on turn 2, and it's a decent draw when you are in a top deck war with your opponent after thoughts using each other to pieces. I think this card is here to stay in Standard for at least a while.
I would agree. The synergy we haven't really talked about is that Kira and Pia Nalar can sacrifice an artifact creature, I believe. So you can actually fling your hanger back at them and then have a whole bunch more fodder to continue throwing. Well, let's get back to the match.
That's
Players
what we call
opening their
a combo.
It is a combo piece. Players considering their opening 7s.
All right. Looks like both players will keep.
It's good that we've got to see both of these guys keep their 7s. I spoke with Adrian earlier, and he said that the deck doesn't mulligan well, and if he gets to keep his 7, he feels very confident that he can win most of his matches.
Right, both players leading off with Scrylands, trying to make sure they can cast all their spells, which is important in any game of Magic.
So we've got 2 copies of Wingmate Rock, Elspeth. I think I also see a Dictate of Heliod.
Maybe we'll actually see Dictate do something other than get flipped over to Ashiok this game.
Ashiok is like a magnet.
Oh, so, yep, Chase has that copy of Feed the Clans in his hand.
Oh my. Wonder if he also opted to bring in the Tassikers to turn on the 10 instead of the 5?
I mean, I thought Tassiger was a good card to bring in before that. Yep, Hero's Downfall before combat, so he doesn't even get the Goblin. So, and this is the thing about these blue-black X control decks. Once they hit 3 mana, you have to ask permission to do everything. Because they have Hero's Downfall, they have Dissolve.
Ooh, and a morph and no 4th land.
Uh-oh.
Very, very interesting. We'll see if this is... should be a Den Protector. I don't believe he has access to any other morphs in his list.
Nope, Den Protector is the only one.
So Adrian should know what's going on here. Just passes the turn.
Oh, I also see a copy of Silumgar the Drifting Death in Jason's hand, which seems very good in this matchup.
If he can get up to the mana he needs to cast it. He has made his 4th land drop. That's a good start. Looks like he's going to start looting Sultai Charm. Draw 2, discard 1.
Let's see if he discards his Feed the Clan. Sided in to get discarded to Sultai Charm.
That is the tech play.
It's what we call good deck building.
Sometimes you just need to know what you need to discard. It's like just a Wingmate Rock, no raid.
All right, here's Hero's Downfall.
Hero's Downfall.
Get in there with that morph.
Adrian Throop, of course, able to tap Mana Confluence for black mana because his opponent has so generously given him an Urborg to use.
Ooh. And there's an Elspeth. I mean, this is the kind of threat that Adrian needs to get back into this game.
Absolutely. We've also seen 2 Heroes Downfalls out of the way, which is just really nice sequencing from Adrian to bait those out.
So if Chase doesn't find more lands to be able to cast this Drifting Death, he's going to be in a lot of trouble.
Here we go. Looks like he's probably going to bring back. I would assume this has to be a
Feed the
Hero's
Clan.
Downfall. You could certainly pick that one. Oh, well, okay. He's interesting. Sultai Charm.
Yeah, I think he's really just trying to dig for lands right now. Like I said, he has a Drifting Death in his hand, so all he needs to...
A Jace. The Den Protector going to do a good job of protecting him from the Elspeth threatening.
All right, well, here is where we can see some Dictate of Heliod shenanigans, because Adrian has creatures in play, open mana. I believe he's probably going to play the Wingmate Rock this turn.
Shields are down. I love getting in for 9, honestly.
Just
getting in for 9 is just sounds great.
That is a lot.
9 is many. Another plus from Elspeth. Even if she does meet her demise on this turn, I think she's done enough work already.
Whew.
Shields are down. Here comes the Wingmate Rock.
Oh, this Dictate is going to be gross when it hits the table.
If Jace can find a Languish, this game...
Oh, there's the Languish.
Oh, my. Yep.
That's so good.
This is going to be very, very bad.
I mean, I
don't believe he's going to be able to flip the Jace beforehand, but it's still so good for Chase. He gets to reset the board after attacking. Oh no, there's Wingmate Rock in the way. Well, he's still going to have to contend with the Elspeth. All right, well, Languish still very good here, but not as good as we originally thought.
Chase drew a second copy of Feed the Clan.
Hey man,
Maybe that's why you got a Sultai Charm back.
It's
Ooh,
like
and a
there's
Drown in Sorrow.
Drown in Sorrow. Still not super great here. Feed the Clan down. Perhaps regretting the decision to side that in.
He sided in 2 copies, and 2 copies got discarded to his own card's effects.
We'll see what he does choose to do here. Languish probably the only option here.
I mean, if he does not cast this Languish this turn, he is just dead. Because this Dictate's going to come down, and it's going to deal a lot of damage.
Yeah. I don't believe he has a counterspell in his hand. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
There's the Languish. That needed to happen.
You were worrying me, Chase. Yep.
Adrian, totally okay with this. Still has an Elspeth to pressure Chase with. Well, there's
Another Wingmate Rock.
another Wingmate. Probably not casting that this turn. He may take this opportunity to just go ahead and resolve his Dictate. I know it's poor value to cast it in sorcery speed, but it's still, like, shields are down. Just take it while you can get it.
Yep, I think that's what he's going to do.
I think he's going to play the... Yeah, okay, yep. He does do that. Just go ahead and get it out there. Make your opponent answer the threats before he can answer. It's actually very interesting that he's done this, because now he's not open to Drown in Sorrow.
Correct. But he is still to Languish.
Yes, still
So-
Languish.
Oh, there's a Perilous Vault.
Also Default. This Elspeth alone should be enough to prompt the vault breaking. Fortunately, Chase has not hit his 5th land yet, so we'll see if Adrian gets aggressive and tries to do anything specific. I think just making tokens is enough. Just play your land and say go.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think Chase...
It is a land he will be able to
Untapped,
break.
too.
He'll have to break inside of combat, though, so that lets Adrian untap. He should break before attackers are declared so that the raid cannot get triggered. And Adrian can play... Oh, okay, well, there's the vault.
Gets rid of the Dictate, all the Elspeth tokens.
See if Adrian chooses to follow up with another Elspeth, or if he's going to go ahead and put a Johnny Mentor of Heroes down.
I think Chase's life total is low enough that just putting the Elspeth down, putting more pressure on the table is where you want to be.
I think I agree with you.
This
I'm
also
inclined.
opens up the wingmate rock in your hand.
Oh, he's going to
Whew.
hang her back for one and a Johnny.
Oh, and then put 3 counters on the hanger back. That is a combo wombo.
That is very, very spicy play here from Adrian.
Ugh. Yeah, this is not looking great.
Chase is in a lot of trouble here. He's been hanging on by the skin of his teeth anyway. That play in particular is very powerful and resilient.
So if he drew another untapped land here, he could Sultai Charm the Hangerback Walker and then Drown in Sorrow all the Thopters away.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, that was not the case. He did not draw that land, so he's going to have to come up with something else. He did draw a Tasker, though.
So you're telling me he has to draw a land to be able to 2-for-1 himself just to deal with this one Hangerback Walker?
I mean, that Hangerback Walker play was gross.
We're not even talking about the Ajani Mentor of Heroes that's about to take over this game.
Oh, I like Adrian's spot a whole bunch here.
He's got an excellent strategy and way to play versus control decks. I think that this deck is very well positioned. Love to see him make a run in this tournament. See, there's the Sultai Charm to dig. He does find his land in an Ashiok, so he could do that. It's not a whole lot of pressure. Yeah, just going to get rid of that. Has another copy of Ashiok in his hand. The second copy doing him no good. Going to get ditched.
He's probably just going to have to use the Sultai Charm to keep himself from being super dead to this Hangerback Walker.
I think we're going to see him cast a Tasigur in an attempt to save his life total. Unfortunately, Adrian has an Elspeth in play, and he's able to tap the Hangerback Walker, have Elspeth come in and minus, and blow both of the creatures up, and be left with tokens, and then he can either look for more action with a Johnny, or just go ahead and distribute some +1/+1 counters and make the attack lethal.
How do you feel about plussing a Johnny, putting counters on the Hangerback Walker?
Oh, and he's drawn a copy of Outpost Siege. Just so many options here for Adrian.
Yeah, Adrian's deck's looking like it's firing on all cylinders here. Yeah, this deck looks very spice.
I'm inclined to agree with you. A bevy of interesting options here. We'll see which line he takes. I'm tempted to just plus the Ajani first and see what's going on. Looks like his only source of red coming from the Mana Confluence, so he's going to have to take one from that. Gonna go ahead and make an attack before activating a Johnny. Looks like there's a block.
Oh, so Adrian chose dragons for his Outpost Siege.
That is very interesting. So with the last damage from it leaving play, he was able to ping and finish off the Tasigur. Very interesting.
Yeah, he also has 4 Thopters.
The plus... Yeah, so the plus is going to get him Kira and Pia.
Oh, that's really good with an Outpost Siege on dragons. Whew. 3 mana, destroy an or sacrifice an artifact, deal 3 anywhere you want.
You get to Arc Trail just whenever you want. It's crazy good. We're gonna have a flip Nissa. I do believe this is his 7th land coming into play. Gonna flip it over. And foil, too. Props to Chase for finding that before this tournament started.
It only found a foil forest.
Flavor fail.
Oh, I think it might actually have found a foil forest, which I think that'd be great. All right, he's going to play an island to flip it.
Plussing, revealing a Bile Blight. That's going to get put into his hand.
So Bile Blight's decent here,
yeah,
but
that's
it'll
a particularly good one.
Deal him 4.
Just stemming the tide.
Yeah, I don't know if Chase is going to be able to beat this Outpost Siege.
No, I certainly don't think so. just going to drown. He's going to need to tap a second black source for that. Urborg, yes. Urborg makes them all black sources. There we go. The Scry goes to the bottom. Chase is going to take 4 off the trigger. And a Rabble Master right off the top.
Oh, my goodness. So, if Adrian had just any more red sources, he could finish this game.
Pretty much.
Pronto.
Pretty much just instantly. There's a Xenagos. That's pretty good. I believe he's going to take Hangerback Walker here.
Hangerback's another good one. Oh, actually, yeah, this is really good because you can play Chandra's Parents and Hangerback Walker.
Yes.
Oh, yep, there it is.
So double red, of course. Won't have the red open to sacrifice it per se, but still very good. Thinking about it once again.
You're thinking that play. I don't know. Rabble Master also seems pretty decent here.
I actually like the Rabble Master line a lot. It puts 2 creatures on the board immediately and also deals him 1. So if Chase can deal with both, it's going to put him to 1 life. And then from that point, you have the option to just... Actually, I think if he had...
taken the Xenagos.
Yeah, if he had taken the Xenagos,
yep.
he would have won the game. Because Chase would no longer have been able to gain life because he's not got to feed the clans, and he would not been able to kill any of Adrian's creatures. He's still in a very poor situation. He's facing lethal. Not going to be able to work through those flyers either.
Yeah, so all-star of this match in games 2 and 3. Outpost Siege,
Outpost Siege,
not
very,
close.
very good. Here comes a dig through time.
Trying to find a something and anything.
Chase desperately looking for something to get him back into this match.
So what could he find, realistically?
I think he would have had to have the cards in his hand already, but a Sultai Charm to get rid of the Outpost Siege so that he can actually kill the creatures, and then a Languish to sweep up whatever's left.
I don't think he has that much mana.
Not anymore. He would have been able to do it with the 7, not currently. He's going to get an extra land off Nissa. I think there's a Languish right on top of the deck. And there's the extension, the hand. Adrian Throop from down a game. Going to take this match 2 games to 1.
Outpost Siege, so strong.
Very, very powerful Magic cards being played. I like the resilience and the army in a can style that Adrian's bringing with this Naya tokens brew. Hopefully we can get him back on at some point.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I like his deck a lot.
A lot of fun to watch. Very new and exciting. Best of luck to Chase Baker as well. We'll see what the status is on our secondary match for this round. Once we get an update there, we'll tell you whether we have more Magic this round for you to watch.
Oh, there's always more Magic. We might just have to wait a little bit for it, though. So, ooh, he also cited in Mastery of the Unseen's. Whew.
Yeah, I didn't see too much. I think the Brimaz came out, the Elves came out, and you just want more action. So he brought in the Masteries and the Ajani.
All right, so it looks like our backup feature match is also over and done with. So this is Jeff Stouter
And Nathan Satterfield.
signing off for round 3 at Star City Regionals.